All right. So from the national frustration, let's go to club chaos. We're going to speak a bit of Premier League here. Manchester United, well, they are a mess once again. And I'm going to ask, one of the most uncomfortable questions. And I think here, I'm going to start with Mark Namanya. I know you're a strong, Man U fan here. Do you think, Amorim, we panicked as Manchester United, or should he have been really let go?
I think the United job is a poison chalice. It's the hardest job in all football right now. And in the current United setup, every coach is bound to fail. So Amorim said things which never made his job. Amorim basically he compelled his bosses to just give him the exit door.
He has admitted as much.
But the fact of the matter is that the United's job, it's a graveyard of reputations, because Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ralf Rangnick, and all these guys, they came with big reputations, and they've all failed. And these are guys who've been successful elsewhere. You tend to think that the problem at United is not who the coach is. There's a bigger problem. It's in the structure of the club. From the time when the Glazers took over the club, I think United lost its soul, and it's been downhill from then on. Sir Alex Ferguson, because he was a genius, I think he managed to hold ship, but the club lost its soul, and from then on, it's been a case of a revolving door of mediocrity and failure and ineptitude and so forth. So, was Amorim the right man for the job? Maybe, maybe not. We'll never know, because he wasn't given sufficient time.
Absolutely. If it's not Amorim, Mark, tell me, who do you think, who is, according to you, who do you think would be, at least?
For starters,
yeah,
I'll go on record and say they should never have sacked Ruben Amorim. I've been against the sackings they've done progressively since Alex Ferguson left. I thought the biggest mistake of them was letting Louis van Gaal go. He had a plan, and he'd spelled it out. He just wasn't, he wasn't good enough a manager to understand the politics of the English game outside of what was happening on the pitch, and so didn't handle the media and the legends and a few others well enough. And I thought it was a mistake. So after that, then they should not have repeated the mistake by sacking subsequent managers, especially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I thought, and I disagreed with Mark a lot on that particular matter. I thought that under the circumstances, considering how much influence the legends of the club have on what happens in that club, as well as on public opinion, and yet United needed a less toxic environment for them to thrive, then that Ole should have stayed. And I thought that it was premature to sack somebody after he'd finished second the previous season, only because he was going through a rough patch, because they sacked him before Christmas, the season after. And I thought that he might have steadied that ship again. But anyway, never mind. At the time, I thought that United were thinking, the delusions of grandeur around Man United. They live in the past and believe that success is a divine right. And they forget that they earned it over time, that Alex Ferguson spent all of 5 years at United before he actually did anything serious. He won a trophy in the 4th year, but it was a bit of a fluke, if you like, the FA Cup final.
My biggest disappointment in this is Ineos.
But now,
Ineos, because Ineos, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, was supposed to be different from the Glazers, because by purchasing 25%, the 25% stake in the club, he came with a brand new plan, a continental 21st century mindset of where the club should be headed, and he came speaking all these flowery things. It was different from the Glazers, because the Glazers, for them, they are fronting the club's commercial interests, and they are milking the cash cow that is United. Man U is still the biggest brand in English football.
No, definitely.
Even whether they are in the relegation zone or not. And they still reckon the biggest amounts of money.
Statistically, the second biggest in the world.
Yes, exactly, in the world.
All right, guys.
Now the problem. Okay.
Yes.
But if you allow, will you allow me to say?
Hard luck.
Yes.
I'm sure. Well, eventually, I hope we just get to wake up and realize that we really have a lot to do.
Yeah, Paul, you asked a question I haven't answered yet.
Please do.
Yeah. So here's what I was saying, dear Paul. That one, I didn't agree with the sacking. I just told you why, and I'll tell you that at Man United, what I see right now is that they want to have their cake and eat it. They talk rebuilding, they want results immediately. They are sacking managers. I mean, Ruben Amorim had such a poor season last season, and he started it halfway through and finished 15th. United almost got relegated. Then he gets sacked after he's climbed 9 places to 6th, because that's where United sit right now. And it looks like he's building something. You hear talk about him involving the youth team and not having to buy too many people, and then he gets sacked, or after he's introduced 6 of the junior team, including the Fletcher twins and a few other guys, Gordon Kukonki and Mantanto and all, in the first team.
Mark, you're missing the point. And then Amorim wasn't sacked for footballing reasons. It wasn't footballing reasons. No, non-footballing reasons.
Well, everybody else seems to think they were.
No, not footballing reasons.
Because they expected United to be.
They clashed with Jason Wilcox, and I mean, from then on, heads had to roll, and it had to be him. He clashed with his managers. When you go before the press after a very poor performance against Leeds United, and you're looking into the cameras of world media, and you're saying, I am not the head coach, I am the manager. That's a thin level.
I think I agree with Mark on the bit about what Amorim said.
Yes.
That's not acceptable.
And many other things.
He questioned his job description and job title, and said he was something other than what the club was saying, and also basically disrespected them. But I thought that it was coming, and it must have been triggered by something. The opening of the window and him not being in charge of signings and everything was one of that. But never mind. To finally answer your question,
please.
The person I'd like to see replace Amorim is somebody who, under the circumstances, with the things that guys like Paul Scholes and Gary Neville and Rio Ferdinand and Roy Keane and Nicky Butt and all the legends of United say, and how much influence they have on both the narrative and on public opinion, I don't think they would appoint. Mark, you've realized that Luis Enrique has said he's not renewing his contract at PSG because he wants a new challenge in the summer. I'd hire him like this.
Okay.
But do you know who United are looking at and being recommended? Paul Scholes and Gary Neville and Roy Keane is either Keane himself or a guy like Eddie Howe. They're trying to keep it in English and traditional. They're talking about club DNA and how they should go back to the things they used to do, flying wingers and stuff like that. I'm not in agreement. Okay. Football has moved on, and they don't want to.